Hi, how's it going? Um, I went out and touched grass today, so I'm a bit more relaxed than usual. I'm a bit more relaxed than usual because I went outside and touched grass today. So I'm just online to just waste time basically at this point because I've got some stuff to organize, but I want to give myself some mental space before I do it. So I'm just on here to really just shoot the shit, just fucking just shoot the shit and then upload it. But yeah, this is going to be a short video because I'm noticing a lot of the discourse online and I cannot believe that me, of all people, are about to say this shit. But I really, really feel like some people just need to come offline with the quickness. I swear to God, it's starting to make us crazy. Now, given my history with social media, a lot of people might assume that social media made me crazy. No, it's the torture that made me crazy. It's just that social media allowed you to see the crazy because it gave me a place to vent. Like now, for instance. But I feel like with some apps, I do notice that if you don't sparingly use it, if you use it too much or too often, it does legitimately drive you crazy. There was one video on TikTok, and the video on TikTok wasn't even that serious, but I was literally getting so angry that I had to come off and I had to question, like, why was it getting me so heated? Like, they didn't say anything that serious. I've heard a lot worse than that. But I was just angry in a way that just wasn't necessary. And that was on TikTok. And I noticed that TikTok has an effect on me as an app more than any other app that I actually use. So I've been posting online on TikTok, but if I have anything to post on TikTok, it's usually promos for videos on YouTube. I don't post on TikTok that often because I notice it just makes me fucking angry. Like, being on social media or my screen too much, it pisses me off to the point where, like, it just gets on my nerves. And then on top of that, your circadian rhythm is fucked up because of the blue light. So your circadian rhythm is fucked up. This thing right here is fucked up, which causes vision problems. Not just for me, but for everybody. Like, I don't know if there are some of you that notice that you tend to do this. Sometimes when you're looking at technology, like, you tend to do this because your eyes are trying to focus. That's because your fucking the hormones from your third eye are being disrupted because you're taking in too much blue light from your technology. That's what it does. When you're on it too much, it affects your vision, it affects your mood. And if the thing is, if this right here is being affected, you know your moods are being affected and you know your hormones are being affected, which is why when you get online, you get fucking pissed off and angry. I'm not saying that everybody needs to get off. And I'm definitely not saying that we need to get off permanently, because at this point, we need social media to function. It just is what it is. We need it to function. So I'm not saying get offline and stay offline. And I'm definitely not saying that everybody needs to get offline, because there are some of you out there, there are a lot of you out there that have lives outside of your screen. Let's be real about the situation. There are a lot of you that have lives outside of your screen. So you don't need me or anybody else telling you, you know what, you need to get a fucking life outside the internet. There are some people who just do not need that message, but there are some people who absolutely do. Get offline, I'm begging you. There are some of you who just need to take a break. You need to recognize when you need to take a break, when you need a breather. Because this is the thing about social media. With social media, we think that when people come online and show their ass, that they're showing the entirety of their real selves. That's not true. When you've got anonymous people making shitty comments, you don't know whether that's a bored kid or whether that's somebody online working with multiple different interfaces. You don't know if that's a bot. You don't know if that's a bored kid. You don't know if that's a disabled adult that is unable to do anything else. You don't know who you're interacting with when you've got people online saying just the right thing to piss you off, even if that thing is borderline dumb. You don't know who you're arguing with. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that we need to acknowledge. And the second thing that we need to acknowledge is that even when we do know who is making commentary online, they're not giving you, how do I put this? How do I put this? What we share online are crumbs of who we are. We're not sharing the whole loaf. Now, like for instance, you see me posting from my bed a lot of the time. You see me posting from my bed, but you don't see the cleaning that I do in here. You don't see the organizing that I do in my flat. You don't see what I do when I get out and I meet people. You don't see how I interact with those people, because what I'm giving you online, I'm giving you crumbs. I'm not giving you the whole picture of what my life is like. You're getting snapshots of it. And from those snapshots, you're getting a very different person from the person that is offline. You're getting a very different picture from the person that you see offline. Very fucking different. Do you understand what I mean? The person offline is, yeah, they have mental health problems, but the person offline is complex, a lot more positive than you see online. I'm telling you right now, because like I talk about a lot of negative shit on here, but as soon as I come offline, I'm giggling and laughing and all that kind of thing. And my enemies cannot stand that about me. They could never stand that about me. It didn't matter how bad my life got, I was able to squeeze some joy out of it like a wet rag, and I'm still able to do that. That's what my enemies could never stand about me, and that's the part of me that you don't see when I'm talking to you guys. I give you crumbs. I don't give you the whole loaf. So the picture that you have of me is very incomplete. Even if somebody posts a lot, you're not getting the full picture of who they are. You're really not. Even if they post a lot, you get an image of a person. You're not getting the real thing. So everybody online is responding to images of other people that are not even real half the time. And on top of that, everything that we do in society and in general, we're doing it to impress people that we like the least and we care about the least. And I know people are going to say that's not true, but really think about it. Or, actually, let me reverse that. Everything that we are programmed to do, the people that we are programmed to impress in our everyday lives, are people that care about us the least and know us the least. Okay? We often think to ourselves, oh, I want to make my parents proud. No. Anybody who withholds love from us the most and withholds interest from us the most, those are the people that we are trying to impress, because we're social creatures. We're social creatures. First of all, we're wired to bring as many people into our circle as possible. That's the first thing. The second thing is that if there are people who are outside the circle, we're going to do our damnedest to bring them in, or to at least feel like they should be a part of what we're doing. So everything that we do in this society is for the benefit of people that we like and know the least, and who like and know us the least. And I know you're going to say that's not true, but look at the world around you. Use the workplace as an example. When you go to work, that's your workplace. You're not trying to build families or connections with those people. You're trying to get paid. And with social media, it's the same thing. You come online to vent. You come online to talk about your feelings and get an echo chamber coming back at you. That's what you do it for. You're not doing it to challenge anybody. You're just doing it to confirm your own worldview. You're doing it to just confirm your own worldview even more. That's what you're online for. That's what you're doing it for. And if all you're doing is confirming your own view of the world, The truth of the matter is that you're not going to get to know yourself properly on social media. And people are definitely not going to know you. Nor are they going to fucking care. Because, again, we're trying to impress people. Everything that we do is designed to try to minimize as much trolling and as much insults as possible. That's what we live our lives for. And when we feel like we can't do that, we will then go into the opposite direction and monsterize ourselves. That's what we do. And social media is just, it's just full of that. It's like, it's full of people trying to impress people that they don't really like, whilst at the same time pandering to people that they do like. It's just very strange, and it's very superficial, and it's very weird, and it's very toxic. It's very fucking toxic. It's a very toxic world that we live in. And when you're online and all you're seeing is crumbs, and, you know, and you're not seeing the whole loaf of what somebody is really like. When you get online and you see these crumbs, these fucking moldy crumbs on the floor constantly, it will make you crazy, and it will make you think that that's all that human beings have to offer. It will make you think that. It will make you think that's all human beings are. And I know that I'm bringing it back to targeting, because I always bring it back to targeting. But if you become a targeted individual long enough, you will start to think that that's all there is to people, and that's all there is to life. All there is to people are obsessed, deranged, petty, dishonest individuals. That's what it will get you to thinking. But that's why you have to take a break. Sometimes you have to take a break from it. You have to take a break from things to get a clearer perspective on what life is actually like. The reality is that when the cameras come off, people need each other. But when you spend your entire life trying to appeal to your enemies, trying to appeal to the same people who would wish to destroy you, trying to appeal to the same people who only want what they can get from you and nothing else. When you spend your whole life trying to appeal to those sets of people, you can lose sight of the fact that beneath all of that crap, we actually need each other. And that this trauma bonding through negativity or through rage bait, this trauma bonding that we're attempting to do with one another, it works in terms of getting attention, but it's cheap, and it takes a real toll on your mental health. It really takes a toll, man. So that's why you got to take a break from social media occasionally. For your own sanity, you've got to take a break. Just like you need to take a break from, you know, sometimes you need to take a break from your own company. It's true. Sometimes you need to take a break from your own company. Sometimes you need to take a break from being around people in real life. But in much the same way, you need to take a break from being offline too. Some of you, I'm watching some of the posts people are making online. I swear to God, it's starting to make you crazy. And I'm not saying that from the perspective of somebody who's, oh no, you're so perfect and you're so wonderful, you don't go crazy. Baby, they've got, I'm not even gonna go into it. I've done plenty of embarrassing shit. I've been humiliated plenty. I'm not coming from the perspective of somebody who hasn't been crazy online. I've been crazy online plenty of times that people have seen that shit. But there are some people that I'm seeing that I'm just like, yo, get offline, please. Please. Enough. At the end of the day, right, there are always going to be people who are going to be fake. That's just the way the world is. But if you don't take a break, if you don't take a step back, that it's just going to fuck with your mental health. And I know, because I go through that every day. At a certain point, you've got to detach. Just remove yourself from it. Remove yourself from it. Like, just for your own good. Just like, no, just don't engage. And if you really want to see what social media can do to people, look at some of the haters that I have. Look at how fucking deranged they are. Do you really want to be like that? Do you really want to be like that? Do you really want to be that fucking deranged? You don't. Just take a break. Please. Oh. Just take a break. I swear to God, man. Just take a break. And, you know, and as human beings, we've really got to stop. I don't think it will ever stop. I know I'm wasting my time by saying this, but I feel like we need to stop, stop trying to pander to our enemies all the time. I think we really need to stop trying to pander to people who are waiting to say something. We need to stop trying to dedicate our lives to shutting haters up and just dedicate ourselves to making ourselves happy. I think that's what we need to do. We need to actually dedicate our lives to making ourselves happy at every turn, so that even setbacks don't have us down for long. That's what we need to do. Rather than try to build our whole world around just shutting our enemies up or making our enemies look stupid. Sometimes the best way to win the game is to just not play it. And when it comes to social media, it's going to make us lose our sense of reality if we don't get offline. Or at the very least, if we don't use social media as more of an educational tool or more of a entertainment tool. Unless we use social media more for education and entertainment rather than reinforcing our worldview or reinforcing a toxic worldview, we just need to just take a break when you need it. Take a break when you need it. I'm not making much sense, but I never do when I talk. Quite frankly, I'm better at writing than speaking, but I just needed to say something, man, because this is just getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. You take a break. Take a break. God damn. Oh. This was not a video on targeting at all. But if you are a targeted individual and you want to say hey. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Before I go, update on me. The gangstalkers are basically vandalizing their own neighborhood to try to get to me. So it's like, for instance, there's a bag, like an empty bag where like some brown bread would go. So they moved it from one place to another place. And then when it came to the mat outside, which I put outside the neighbour's door, they moved it back to my door. I'm like, okay. I actually laughed when I saw that. I thought that was funny at first. But now I'm just like, okay. It just doesn't bother me like that. And on top of that, I think it was like either the day before, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday, actually. No, it was the day before, I believe. There was just lots of screaming N-words and stuff. And I think the point of that was to try and scare me. If you can't say anything to my face, then why would I be scared of you? And what I'm trying to understand is that these kids are basically acting out because they know when I say I don't like you, and I say I don't, because I've said something along the lines before in one of my videos, in terms of if I don't like you, then I'm not going to waste any more time on you. And I've ignored them for the most part, so they know that I mean it. They're not used to that. They're used to elders lying to them to make them feel better. That's what they're used to. So when they meet somebody like me who means what she says, and who means like, I'm not always that person. Sometimes I let people down. I'm not always that person, but I try to make sure that if I'm going to say something, that I'm going to stand by it. I don't always do this. I'm just going to say this right now. I don't always do this, but I make sure if I say something, then I at least try my very best to stand by what I say. And these kids are seeing this, and it's making them feel bad because they're used to getting attention when they do something wrong. And they feel like the attention that they get from doing something wrong, that's their version of love. That's how they love. That's how they receive it. Because once again, kids are not fully developed. They're not fully developed. So the only thing that they really understand is A, testing the boundaries to see how safe they really are. And B, wanting love, but not really knowing how to ask for it in a way that will emotionally protect them. Meaning, they don't want to ask for love and acknowledgement from a person and then get told to fuck off because they're children. Why would children want that? Why would children like want to be loved and reassured and get told to fuck off? Because like a lot of children experience that. A lot of children experience, oh, I feel sad, I feel this, I feel that, I'm going through this. And, there are parents who will tell you to fuck off. What child wants that? What child wants that? So I feel like the kids are acting out because they're scared, and they're scared because they know that I mean what I say, and they know that I've been right about most of the things that I'm saying, and they know that I'm right about the white supremacist thing, the dark magic thing. Like, they know I'm right about all of that. So they're just spiraling at the moment, and they're trying anything that they can. And the gangstalkers are trying anything that they can because they know that there's no real way out of this. So the only thing that they can really do is to continue what they've been doing, screaming the N-word and stuff. And I know that a lot of outsiders looking in think that kind of behavior is absolutely disgusting and shocking. And it is. It really is. It's disgusting behavior. And I'm not saying it's not. But now that I'm really thinking about it, obviously you have put yourself in a situation. No, I can't even say the kids have put themselves in a situation because they didn't. Their parents and their elders put them in a situation that is way above their understanding. Not only have you put them in a position where they're okay with, they're basically told to bully people as some kind of game. Not only are they told to do that, they're being told that, if we win, you'll get something out of it or something like that. Like, you're being told that this behavior is okay. By the people who are supposed to teach you right from wrong. You're being told it's okay to bully someone. And you're even being told it's okay to bully someone because of their race, right? Only to find out that not only are you in the wrong in terms of bullying someone according to their race and bullying someone in general, not only do you get consequences for your actions in terms of the person reacting, but you also find out that that bullying and all that shit that your parents and your elders encouraged you to do was part of a wider plot to depopulate pretty much everybody in the country. Imagine being a kid and finding out that the worst parts of your character, you pushing people's boundaries, you not knowing how to ask for acknowledgement, you not knowing how to regulate your emotions. Imagine all the worst parts of being a kid are indulged. You are able to get away with it. Not only is that encouraged by your elders, but now you're hearing that everything that your parents taught you to do was contributing to murdering people and contributing to torturing people and contributing to degrading your entire community. No wonder you can't fucking sleep. No wonder you can't function. No wonder you can't. No wonder. No wonder. I don't feel sorry for these kids at all. In fact, I've stopped being so conscious about their, their sleeping patterns. I'm not going to be obnoxious about it. But because of the way that they've treated me, I've actually stopped caring. I've stopped caring about whether or not they're asleep or not, or whether they're like, I've stopped caring about that because of the way that they've treated me and because of the way that they've refused to handle their emotions properly and refused to take responsibility for their actions. At the same time, they're still kids. And it's not their fault that things have fucking turned out this way. It was never their fault, ever. It was always the elders' fault. So the elders are there complaining about the fact that they're using racial slurs. Those are racial slurs that came out of your fucking mouth. Those are racial slurs that come out of your fucking mouth. Now you want to have a go at your children for doing the same thing. Now you want to do that. After 3 years of this shit, it is too little too late. You've already opened the fucking dam. It's already flooded the place. What the fuck are you going to do? There is nothing you can do. You've opened the flood. This is what you do when you involve children in your fucking war. When you involve children in your gang stalking efforts, when you involve children in a fucking trafficking ring, in a glorified trafficking ring that you're a part of, when you involve kids in it, it's a wrap, because it doesn't matter whether they know it's right or wrong. They're still gonna do the shit that you taught them to do because it's all they know. They're still gonna keep doing it. Because at the end of the day, they're not old enough to be able to regulate their emotions like that. As soon as they start feeling bad, as soon as they get a whiff of boredom, as soon as they start feeling neglected and underappreciated by you, they will go right back to stalking the fuck out of a TI. And you think what you think you can do, you think you can control it to a level where it makes you look good. And the shit don't work like that. Once you get the kids involved in your shit, it's a wrap, because they will never let it go. They will never let it go if they can possibly help it. Once you get your kids involved in your shit, they're not letting it go. They will only let it go when it goes too far. And even by then, it's too late. They're already in it, knee deep. So as much as, you know, these kids are acting up and all the rest of it, I can't really blame them like that because they're kids. I've stopped giving a fuck about their welfare because at the end of the day, I'm not their fucking therapist. You don't get to hate me and have me give a fuck about your emotional welfare. You just don't get to do that. But I don't blame them. I don't blame the kids. I blame the elders. Because it was the elders who put them ideas in their head. Now it's too hot for you to handle. It should have been too hot for you to handle 3 fucking years ago. Don't get mad at them about that. Don't get mad at the kids about that. That's on you. You know? But again, I say this purely objectively. You know what I mean? I say this purely objectively. I'm not saying this because I give a fuck about the kids. The only person I give a fuck about that has anything to do with up there at this point is the dog. And I know they're trying to deny having a dog. They have a fucking dog, all right? They have a fucking dog. I'm not going to report the fucking dog. And it's not because necessarily that I like the dog. Even though I've seen the dog is fucking adorable. Like I said before, I was not exaggerating. That dog is fucking cute, all right? It's very, very, she is beautiful. She's a gorgeous little thing. I'm not even gonna hold you. That dog is fucking gorgeous, right? But I'm not reporting a dog for the simple reason, why should the dog end up on the street or end up moving from home to home because of their owners? Why? And they're not endangering her. They're not endangering her. They're not doing anything to her that's cruel or neglectful. You know, maybe they leave her alone a bit too long sometimes, but other than that, like, They're not doing anything to the pup that's, you know, they're not doing anything to her like that. So why should I report them? Why should I report them for having a dog? Leave the dog, man. The only thing that maybe concerns me a little bit is that the dog is around a lot of screaming and shouting. That cannot be good for the dog's nervous system. It can't be good for the dog's nervous system. It might fuck the dog's nervous system up a little bit. I am a bit worried about that. But again, dog's not with me, so I don't have to really worry about that. But again, that's the only person I care about, is that beautiful dog. That's it. You know, so yeah, that's it. All I care about is the fucking dog, because the dog's cute. Like a yappy little munchkin. So yeah, it's gonna stress the dog out a lot. Another thing that I want to point out is that it's not just the screaming up there that got me. It's also the fact that there's been a lot of arguments around here lately. There's been a lot of arguments around here. And it's just starting to get very strange. Now, as a targeted individual, it can occur to me that it could be noise pollution to aggravate the targets, because they do tend to engage in directed conversation. Like, for example, there was one person who started talking about, you know, I'm not going to give you a job and you're not going to scare my cat because I've walked around the corner twice and there was a black cat standing in the path. And then as soon as they saw me coming, they're like, oh shit. As soon as they saw any human coming, they just bolted over the gate. But it was always a black cat that was like in the middle of the path there. So that was directed conversation in relation to that. Also, the job thing, that was directed conversation, because my co-op across the road were apparently short-staffed. And I asked if there were jobs available. They said no. I'm like, okay, cool. So it does occur to me that some of these arguments are directed conversation. But I honestly think it's the technology that's making people crazy. I think there are weaponized frequencies used against specific residents here. Like I said, wherever there's a TI, it's an from time a TI moves into somewhere, that neighborhood or that block becomes an experimental facility for frequency weaponry. And it's not just against the TI either. It's also against the perps. For me, I've always said it. Perps are just TIs that are success stories. That's all the perps are. They're just TIs that are success stories. Yeah. And I feel like there are a lot of people around here that are being negatively affected by frequency weaponry as well, or weaponized frequencies. There's a difference between the two. I feel like there are people around here that are being badly affected by weaponized frequencies as well. And it's making them really, really angry. So again, I understand that as a targeted individual, there's a lot of directed conversations or directed arguments, like people are arguing between themselves, but they're making references to whatever it is they think I've been doing. So it's like, you know, I do get that there's an element of that, but I've been witnessing a lot of arguments. It was like, what is going on? I think there are weaponized frequencies that are affecting certain people around here. And it would affect people around here because there's more vulnerable people being moved to Woodingdean now. There were more vulnerable people being moved down here than when I first moved in. So there's more vulnerable people around here and around estates close by. You know, there's more vulnerable people around here than there used to be. So I feel like, you know, there is weaponized frequencies that are affecting them as well. I don't think it's just their background. I think a lot of this is exacerbated. So yeah, like things have been very weird around here. Things have been very weird. And when it comes to them screaming the N-word again, If you can't say it to my face, like, why am I going to give you the time of day if you can't say it to my face? I'm sorry. And, you know, my war isn't with children. Because I'm not a pathetic idiot. I might cuss the kids out. I might say that, oh, you know, they're acting like animals or demons or something. Well, not demons, but I might say they're acting like animals or something. But like, they're just fucking kids. They're just kids. Why am I gonna war at a war with fucking kids? And they ain't about to say the shit to my face. Like, they might be screaming N-word in the top of their lungs, but when they're in front of my face, they're fucking silent. Because they're kids. Kids do that dumb shit. Who I really blame are the adults. And the adults, what pisses me off about them is that they're engaging in something that they know is basically glorified human trafficking. They know they're engaging in something that's getting people killed, that's actually gotten people killed and continues to get people killed. They know they're doing all that. They know they're basically exacerbating torture. They know they're committing torture. They know they're committing vandalism of their own property just to get a reaction out of somebody. They know they're doing all of this, and they're doing all of this in front of their kids. And somehow they think they can pick and choose when a child gets to bully someone. They think from the time you give the child that freedom to bully someone else without consequence, that you can just switch that shit off. No, you can't just switch it off. The only way you're going to switch it off is if you quit. And if you quit, where does that leave your children? So no, you're fucked. And you're fucked entirely through your own choices. You're fucked entirely through your own choices. Again, we cannot blame the kids for that. We can't blame the kids for that. We cannot blame them for that. They're shitbags. I'm not going to say they're not. They are. That's exactly what they are. They're little shitbags. Like, you're still doing this shit just because somebody doesn't like you. You're literally involved in a program to kill and torture me. Why the fuck would I like you? Pathetic. But they're still kids. They're still children. They're still children. And, you know, and the thing is that I've dealt with adults who behaved worse than that. Listen. I've dealt with literal grown people who behaved 1,000 times worse than that. 1,000 times worse. At least they have the excuse of actually being children. I've had to deal with people 1,000 times more obsessed and more fucked up than they were, that were grown ass people. Grown. This is nothing. This is nothing. 3 years of nothing. I've dealt with so much worse than that. Grown people. I'm telling you. You wouldn't believe the shit that happened to me in London. This is lightweight. But as for this whole trying to punish me for like not liking them, which is essentially what the kids are doing, especially the younger kid, they're trying to punish me for not liking them. Again, you're trying to kill me. I'm not going to like you. I'm not going to like people that are trying to kill me. What that is something that your parents need to teach you, which is self-respect. But then again, how can your parents teach that? They don't even have that. I have respect for myself. I'm not going to like people who are trying to kill me. I'm not going to like people who are deliberately torturing me. I'm not going to like people like that. I don't like people like that. Like, come on, man. That's ridiculous. Maybe try to form relationships with people that you're not trying to kill. Or maybe value the relationships that you have with people that you're not trying to torture and trying to kill. Maybe value those relationships so that you're not looking for attention from me all the time. Maybe do that. And stop screaming in front of that poor dog. For fuck's sake, just leave it out. Just stop it. Even if you're trying to scare me, knock it off. You've got life in the room with you. That dog is literally the same age as a toddler mentally. Just stop doing that in front of that poor thing. Like, they don't know any better. Stop it. Dang. Anyway, that was a long ass outro. That was a long ass outro, boy. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy today because, you know, it's the new moon. I'm going to enjoy today. I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to do more note writing because I've got readings to do. You know, and I'm going to maybe Netflix watch. I don't know if I should watch Netflix because it uses up too much battery. But yeah, I'm definitely going to enjoy myself because why not? Why not? Today's a good day for it. So I'm going to do that. And once again, my fellow TIs, second go round. If you've made it this far into the video, please let me know how you guys are doing. I always want to hear from you. And yeah, peace and blessings. Before I go, should I say something else? I think I've said everything, actually. Probably haven't. I talked about everything today. No, I think we're good. So, peace and blessings. I love you guys so much. And have a great new moon. Take care. Bye-bye.